Good morning folks, 21st Century Caveman here. Hope everybody's safe, hope everybody's well. So, I'm back at the ranch. The caveman's got his mojo back. I feel re-energised, motivated, and I want to crack on now and do some more DIY stuff at this property, just to try and get things up and running at the earliest opportunity. Now, I don't have any sort of time constraints as such. This is a DIY project for me, but obviously I don't want it lingering around too much. So the reason we're here today then is because I want to do some final prep work before I start papering the ceilings. So just to recap then, the ceilings have been boarded over with 15mm plasterboard. It's the thickest plasterboard you can buy, and the reason was because I wanted to give the rooms a better degree of insulation. These have got flat roofs, and you know, in summer they're very hot, in winter they're very cold, so I wanted some further insulation up there, which is why I put the thicker plasterboard on the ceilings, and I've done that on all of the bedrooms upstairs. And I've taped and plastered the seams, in other words the joins. So I'm just going to spin round now. So this is how we left it about 3 or 4 months ago, and the next stage then is to paper the ceiling over. Now it is fair to say that the plaster work on here is, even though I say it myself, it's pretty good, it's pretty flat and smooth. It's possible that I could just put 2 or 3 coats of paint on here and be done with it, but given all the hard work I put into this, I don't want to take a chance, and for the small amount of extra effort, time and expense, I'd rather paper this over with lining paper and then paint the lining paper, and that way I know that we're going to have a really good result here. And of course this is a DIY job. All it costs me is my time and the cost of the materials. I'm not paying somebody else to do the work for me, although if I did, obviously it could be done a lot quicker. But you know, having this project completed in a very speed and prompt manner is not, you know, the priority at the moment. So the task today then is to fill in any gaps where the plasterboards butt up against the walls. So there are 1 or 2 here. The gaps aren't massive, but the fact is they are still gaps and I need to fill them in. Now I could have actually filled in these gaps here using the same jointing plaster which I used to go over the tape here, but it's not as strong and it's not really the best plaster for a little job like this. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I mean, it might well do that, but it's not anywhere near as strong. So I'm actually going to fill in these gaps using bonding plaster. Now the reason I'm using bonding plaster is because it's a backing coat, so therefore it's a lot stronger, and it's also a very sticky plaster, and ideal for a situation whereby, you know, you want your plaster to stay on the ceiling and not drop on the floor. So I'm just going to take you to the other 2 rooms then. So as I say, we've got a few gaps there. I need to rectify those. Now that's a bigger gap just down there, look, and something like easy fill may not be up to the job. For a gap of that size, it's definitely going to be better to use the bonding plaster. Whereas these smaller gaps here, look, yeah, you could probably get away with the easy fill, to be honest. But the fact is, I've got the bonding plaster, so I might as well use it. Let's take you through to the other bedroom. As I say, you know, this has come up very smooth. And the thing is, you know, it's always tempting to think, well, actually I could save a little bit of time and effort just by painting over, but I've been there before. You know, you try and take shortcuts and you end up, you know, just doing the same, you know, more work than what you would have done in the first place. So in terms of the lining paper then, I've decided to go for this. I've decided to go for a 1400 grade. Now you do get different grades of lining paper, and this is quite a thick one. This is a double length roll, 20 metres, cost about £8, which is a brilliant buy actually. I've used this loads of times in the past, and this is a very good quality lining paper, and of course you can paint over it. So the grades then, I think they start about 800 grade, and then they go to sort of like 1000, 1200, 14, 17. The higher the number, the thicker the paper is. So this is quite a nice thick paper, and it will certainly cover up any imperfections on the background. Do we need to go this thick? Probably not, to be honest with you. I'm sure 1000 grade would do the job because the walls are nice and smooth, but once again, for an extra few quid, what's the point in trying to compromise at this stage when it's not necessary? I'm not counting pennies, let's put it that way. So therefore we're going to go for the better quality paper. Rather than using a brush to apply the adhesive this time, I think I might use a roller. So I bought some of these rollers here. Now I checked out the prices at Wickes and B&Q, and also Screwfix, and believe it or not, Homebase, the Sainsbury DIY store, was actually cheaper than anywhere else, which is a surprise. The other thing you've got to bear in mind as well is the fact that if you go to somewhere like Wickes to buy these sleeves, they're actually, the diameter is different to the normal ones. So for example, this is a Harris roller, and therefore I'm going to be using Harris sleeves, because if I go for the Wickes ones, then they're not going to fit. In terms of the adhesive, oh, by the way, when I went to Homebase, I actually brought a couple of these big trays here, look. So they cost about £4, £4.50 each. I thought I might as well get two whilst I'm there. So they're a nice size. In terms of the adhesive then, I shall be using this stuff here. So this is extra strong. I've used it in the past loads of times. So where did I get this from then? Which store offered the best value? And believe it or not, it was Screwfix. So I can't remember exactly what the price is, but I will have a look and put it on the screen for you. So this is definitely the best value adhesive that I've managed to find. Yes, you do have to make it up, but for the sake of mixing up for a couple of minutes, I mean, what's the big deal? If it saves you money, it's worth it, isn't it? For the small amount of extra effort. So that's where we are with things. I'll reset the camera and get back to you.